If you recall, from buying the domain name, the first thing we did was pick the top-level domain. I want to talk a little bit about that. Top-level domains serve a particular purpose on the internet. They're the starting point for how to find a resource on the internet. You generally can't purchase a top-level domain. You're using the ones that are out there. And those top-level domains are maintained by large companies or organizations and keep records of all the second-level domains and where to find information about those second-level domains within their own top-level domain. So to clarify that a little bit, this .com is actually a domain name, but it's a special type. It's called a top-level domain. You buy a second-level domain within a top-level domain. If somebody wants to find out information about your second-level domain, the first place they're going to look is the top-level domain. And because the top-level domains are maintained by these large organizations, there are stable points for where you can find out information about second-level domains. Second-level domains, there are many, many of them, and it would be too hard to keep track of where each one was keeping its information. Now, I'm bringing up a new concept, which is information about the domain. Keep in mind that what we're using the domain for is to create these URLs, or these Uniform Resource Locators. And we want to attach this resource to an IP address and provide a place where people can associate or find out what is the IP address of a given resource. The way that's done is by using special types of computers known as name servers. When you buy a domain, you tell the top-level domain where to find the name server for your second-level domain. The name server, just like any other resource on the internet, resides at an IP address. Just like that. And so within the .com top-level domain, there's a record saying, if you want information about the Netgonian domain, then you can look for it at this name server, which is located at this IP address. Then your computer will take a next look, going to the name server here for Netgonian, and in that name server, there are records that will tell it where to find www, which is a host or a resource, and that resides at this IP address. Let's take a look at how that's done.
What you're looking at here are actual domain records found on a name server that handles the Netgonian.com domain. And you'll see two types of records: host records, and host records have the name of the host and the IP address where that host is. And you have alias records that have a name, another host name, and then pointing to, again, a host name. So this is a way to give a host more than one name. So what I'm saying here is that I have a computer that I hooked into the internet at address 72.167.174.245, and I called that host @. But I also, because I'm going to host a website on there, I want people to, I know that people use generally www to find a domain's website, so I also want the @host to have another name, www, or an alias. And so I can put in this record here in the alias records, I'm going to say that host www in the domain Netgonian.com is really the host @ symbol. And then we know that host @ symbol is found at IP address 72.167.174.245. And as you can see here, it's also possible to use your domain to create an alias for a computer in another domain. So mobile mail in the Netgonian.com domain points to this server here that's found in the secureserver.net domain. So adding a host to your domain is very simple. You just hit add a record on the name server. You type in the name of your host. So if I had a server that was going to store some video, I could call it video. And then I could contact my ISP, let's say Comcast, and I say, you know, I need an address on the internet. I need to be hooked up to the internet for one of my computers. And they would give me the IP address 72.56.89.45. And if I add that into my domain, now people could type in video.netgonian.com and then they would be sent over to this IP address.
So there you see it. That's how in the end you use URLs and domain names to locate things on the internet. I hope you found this video to be informative. And do check back to the netgonian.com channel for more videos on how the internet works.